How Rafael Nadal became the world's best tennis player.
This is a continuous improvement movement reserved for the few with the grit to prove it. Everybody claim, but the click exclusive. Many pursue, but it's too elusive.
Javi, you have heard about Rafael Nadal.
I have.
He is a superstar. He won't admit it because he is very humble. But during his career, Rafael Nadal, he's from Spain, has won 14 French Opens
Mm,
and 22 Grand Slams.
Jeez.
That is an amazing
Wow.
achievement.
That's great. I mean,
Yeah.
that's excellence, right? That's the definition of excellence.
And for nearly 2 decades, he has stayed at the top of his game
Mm,
alongside names like Federer and Djokovic. So
mm.
those are the big three.
Yeah, big three.
Yeah.
Good.
Nadal comes from a family of athletes. One of his uncle participated in a soccer World Cup, and the other one, Toni Nadal, was his coach, his
Mm,
tennis coach,
okay.
all the way until he went pro. How do you think coming from a family of athletes contribute to Nadal's success?
I can speak from my personal experience as a former athlete. I think I was an athlete before I was a scholar, and certainly before I was a professional. And I had two brothers at home,
Hmm.
and we were competitive. We competed in everything, right? And I can honestly say, if it wasn't for them, I would never have reached the level of athletic success that I reached. My marginal level of success compared to Nadal. So, um, I think when you surround yourself by people who also have a spirit of excellence, have a mindset for continuous improvement and in excellence in whatever field, I think it rubs off on you.
Hmm.
You kind of create an environment where you status quo just isn't going to cut it.
Hmm.
And I think that's something a lot of companies suffer from is that they're sort of in a bubble and they can see what's going on inside that bubble, but they can't see what's going on outside that bubble. They can't see how much faster their competitors are going. And as a result, it's much easier to fall into a complicit mindset.
Hmm. So check this out.
Mm,
Nadal, in real life, he's right-handed. Okay, he
mm,
writes with his right hand,
interesting.
but in tennis, he felt more comfortable playing left-handed. All
Hmm,
right, he's his left hand for everything.
yeah.
And you see, my tennis is like, oh,
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
be right there with that.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Take me with you. Take me with you. I'm going with you.
Okay, so his coach Tony
Mm,
um, kind of guided him and said, okay, if you're going to do that, that's fine, but you have to refine it a little bit. And Nadal was very open minded, very open to coaching.
yeah, that's key.
And he tried different approaches until he found his single handed forehand, which is what he's most known for
And
because
signature.
it's
Yeah.
powerful. Like nobody can stop that,
Mm,
you know,
wow.
when he uses it. So, what do you think this says about Nadal and how he grew as an athlete?
Well, having a coach that was also a professional absolutely helps. But he would have to have been very coachable because, like you said, he grew up with a family of athletes and his uncle took to him, right? For some reason, he took to his uncle. He must have. So the chemistry must have been there, but I think the mindset probably had a lot to do with it too, right? Um,
Mhm.
if you talk to this guy, like you mentioned, he's like one of the most humble people there are, right? To have such a level of success and be so humble is quite remarkable. But I
Mhm.
don't think they're unrelated. I think the humility may be part of the reason he's been so successful, right?
Mhm.
To be so coachable and um, I think if you got your mind set on winning and being excellent and being the best in the craft, whatever it is you do, you're going to be open to coaching and advice from people who can help you get there, right? I think it's the people who are not so committed to excellence who fall into a trap of being uncoachable or more resistant to good ideas and coaching and things like that. So I think that had a big part to play. I think the other part to play was his willingness to adapt. Right, being right-handed. I'm a right-handed person. I can barely brush my teeth with my left hand.
I know.
Right, it's hard to do. Right, so imagine being in a very competitive sport like tennis and playing tennis with your left hand and developing that offhand to such a level of skill that propelled you to being one of the greatest in the world in your craft. I mean, this shows such a level of adaptability to, hey, this is the reality. Let's be objective. What do I need to do to get better? And then I'm gonna go ahead and do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to continuous improvement mindset. Companies that are in pursuit of excellence have that objectivity as well. Hey, what is it that I need to do to get better? Because regardless of what's happening on a personal level between me and this person or me and that person, I got to go and I'm going to do what I got to do to get there. So even regardless of where the good idea came from, I'm going to take the good idea and I'm going to run with it. Right. And deal with the personal later. So I think you gotta hide that, and this individual Nadal clearly shows that he has it.
Mm-hmm. Rafael Nadal is about to retire.
Hmm.
So he just has the upcoming Davis tournament to play, and that will be his last game.
That's it. He's 38, right, more or less.
Oh, I don't remember how old he is.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So he will retire, and just to give you a glimpse of his mentality, in an interview with the BBC, he says, he doesn't say like, hey, I'm going to go win and I'm going to tear everybody down and anything like that. He says, I'm not going to this game to retire. I am going to this game to play good tennis.
Still trying to get better.
That's that. On his retirement day,
On
his last day,
Yeah.
I'm going to this game to play good tennis.
Still trying to get better. Yeah.
What does this tell you, Calvin, about mindset?
I think what it says is that when this is a person who has, by just about anybody's standards, already achieved a level of excellence that most people would never get close to, right? And in continuous improvement and operational excellence, we throw this word around, world class. Like, you too can be world class if you do 5S and visual management and Kaizen and stuff like that. But I don't think it's just that. I don't think it's just tools. I think it's a mentality. It's also you gotta want to be it, and you can't settle for anything less than being the best that you can be, and maybe being competitive as well, being the best in the world at what you do. So yeah, I think that has a big part to play.
Mm-hmm. I remember many years ago, Nadal was on an interview and he was explaining his process because the interviewer was asking him like, hey, I know you got injured here and you got injured there. And Nadal pretty much said like, who cares? Nobody cares I'm injured.
Right.
Like, I still have to show up and train, not complain, and just get it done.
Yeah.
He's that type of person.
It shows a long-term vision too of, hey, when I look back at the end of my career, right, this could go one or two ways. It could go either I didn't make it and maybe I got all the right excuses for not making it, or I did. And I'm sure he couldn't live with the idea of not making it. And that's what it is. So you make the sacrifice.
So we see some key components here. We have having a coach, being coachable, showing up every single day without excuses, without complaint, right? Those are like
being adaptable, right?
Key to continuous improvement, because the day you stop learning, you stop
improving. And the inverse is also true. The day you stop improving, the day you stop actively trying to improve, you also stop learning.
And some people will go even farther. The day you stop learning, you die. So let's get better every day, and let's meet again tomorrow. Thank you. For daily news on operational excellence and how it relates to current events, check us out on the Ticket to Freedom podcast.
Simply subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay up to date on the latest developments in continuous improvement.